The Leprechaun, played by Warwick Davis, recites a poem while stroking his gold. As it cuts to a man getting out of a limo wearing a fresh suit, his wife is shocked and doesn't understand why he's wasting money. He tells her that he stole a leprechaun's pot of gold as he goes off to hide it. The wife, alone in the house, is attacked and killed by the leprechaun. Upset about his gold, returning home, the man finds the leprechaun and manages to trap him in a box, using a clover to seal him in. But in the shock, the intro ends with him having a stroke. Cut to 10 years later, as we meet our main character, Tori Redding, played by Jennifer Aniston, before she found her success with Friends. Her and her father are moving into the house from the opening. Now run down, they're gonna fix it up to live there, only Tori is a city girl, so she wants nothing to do with it. We're also introduced to Nathan, Ozzy, and Alex, here to help with painting and other needed maintenance. Ozzy has an accident, and he needs to wash off some paint. Alone, the leprechaun lures him into opening the crate, but his magic powers are too weak to do much more. No one believes Ozzy, sadly, so he follows a rainbow to prove he's right with the pot of gold. Alex follows as well. After finding the gold, Alex wants to use the money to help Ozzy with his brain. It is implied that he has autism. Ozzy agrees, not wanting to be made fun of anymore. Back at the house, Tori was attacked by the leprechaun, but she didn't get to see who or what it was. Thinking it was a cat, her father tries to retrieve it, but is bitten by the leprechaun, making them go to the hospital. Alex and Ozzy go to see if the coin is worth anything at all, and they leave it with the man overnight. The leprechaun senses the traces of the coin, finds the man, and kills him using a pogo stick in a comedically dark scene. After which, he shines the man's shoes and retrieves his coin. Now speeding down the road in a small car, the leprechaun is pulled over by an officer, which he promptly kills, after a quick jog through the woods and a few mind games. Now returning home, the cast finds the house has been ransacked, all the shoes piled together, freshly shined. Not knowing what it could have been, they put the house back in order. The leprechaun tricks Nathan into a bear trap. Everyone tries to pry off the leprechauns off of his leg. They injure him using a shotgun and retreat into the house for safety. The phone line has been cut though, so there's no calling for help. They try to leave with the truck, but it's been sabotaged by the mystical creature. They're able to scare him off, but he returns with a death go-kart, flipping the truck, but the cast manages to escape and flee into the house. Tori remembers that she has a portable phone, as she brings out a dinosaur of a phone with an antenna longer than my arm. She calls the police, but the leprechaun uses the officer's car that he killed earlier to trick the group. Tori retrieves the gold so that they can return it, and after counting it, the leprechaun realizes he's missing one coin, the same coin Ozzy accidentally swallowed earlier on in the movie. Returning with vengeance, now more powerful than ever, he taunts the group, wanting his gold coin back. They flee the house, using dirty shoes and a different car to find the old man from the intro, and ask him how to stop the leprechaun. Sadly, the leprechaun beats them to the punch, and we get the chase scene with a little man on a wheelchair. But they discover that the only way to kill him is to use 4-leaf clovers. Luckily, they have a clover patch in the backyard, and they're able to find one. With luck on their side, they find the clover using Alex's slingshot. He launches it into the leprechaun's mouth, sending him falling into the well. Now, we can finally have an happy ending. The police finally arriving far too late to the scene. The film ends, zooming into the well, as the leprechaun shares another poem that sets up a direct sequel we sadly wouldn't be able to see for 25 years, but the movie did have multiple sequels with no ties to each other. My final thoughts are, this movie is a blast, from its outlandish premise to its charming characters, including the leprechaun himself. The movie knows not to take itself seriously, and with a small cast of characters, you really get to know the characters. And when the leprechaun is on screen, it's always exciting to see what happens next. On a first viewing, it can be very unpredictable, with little gore, dark comedic undertones, and well-written cast. I'm sure you'll like this movie. It's short, sweet, and to the point, just like the antagonist. As long as you don't anger him, that is. Tomorrow, I'm attempting to review the second and third films of the franchise, leaving Lep in Space, The Hood, and Back to the Hood for the days after. I'll end this franchise with Leprechaun Returns. This movie is the direct sequel to this one that I just reviewed. Hope to see you tomorrow with Leprechaun 2 and 3.